All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So today we are going to be looking at energy and oil. I'm going to talk about messing up on a trade. So I've obviously talked about a couple good trades I've made. I definitely made a silly, I broke one of my rules and I paid for it, right? So I'll talk about that actually on SCO. I did it right here in that little 3 candle window. From there, just real quickly, I haven't been talking a lot about it, but if you haven't been to the website chartreaders.com, check it out because at the bottom there is a free weekly email I'm trying to give a little more love to this year. There's nothing you got to give me. All you got to do is give me an email address and say you're not a robot. No name, nothing like that, right? So just trying to give it a little more love and generally trying to talk a little bit more about the market specifically or just any thoughts that maybe happen after I make any videos. So what are we looking at? So SCO, right? I mean, look, I think you can kind of see why I got a little excited. So we break a good number of lines and then we really nicely gap up to here, right? I've definitely said on a couple comments, look, wait to get over this line. I didn't do it. I thought this gap up was good. I tried to get in because again, if you kind of see it, that was starting to look green over red. That was definitely a nice green over red. There was still a good amount of buying compared to selling. Nonetheless, I should have waited for confirmation, right? And I really should have at the minimum waited to get over this line, right? And what just got me hungry, honestly, was zooming out. I just saw us, like I said, it's been so long since we've been over that. I still have to zoom out for you to see where it was, right? But that 200 hasn't been broken in a long time, and there's no better place to be than being over it, right? So I kind of got a little greedy is what happened, and I paid for it. I definitely lost. Nothing silly. I'm happy I got out earlier than I did, right? But yeah, nothing silly. I had a stop loss set around 50% candle, and I definitely wicked down pretty much that exact day, actually. So real sad, but hey, it happens. But where are we at right now? Look, I know we're still over the 20, right? We obviously closed here. We're still over all these lines, but look, this day closed right here. The day before it closed right here. We continue to close lower, and that really makes me believe we're probably not going to be getting over this line. RSI is definitely not where I want it to be. MACD, I know it looks good, but again, you can see what was looking like a nice up is kind of starting to flatten out, right? And definitely more selling than buying over the last days and absolutely no volume at all, right? So just a bad combination of really believing we've broken all five. What it really seems like is we're going back to a tighter horizontal channel, right? So looked like we were going to lose it, looked like we were going to break it, looks like we're at least going to be coming back in. So still technically bullish, but we've talked about this 3 candle setup a couple times, right? I want to be over this day. I want to be over this day. I hate going down, down, down. That's not a good thing, right? So more than likely we kind of come back, maybe even just bounce off the 8. Hopefully we don't lose the 8 because that'll probably bring us into either the 100 or the 50 at roughly 25.50 give or take, right? So I'm not looking too good here in my opinion. And again, look, this didn't break over it. This opened but closed under and then obviously went down. This actually closed over it. Same 200 comment is this 50 comment. It's been a really long time since we've broken it. On the daily, we broke it, failed, broke it, ran, and then obviously came back down, right? So maybe something similar happens here. We break it, get a little up, and then, or maybe even, hey, first real break, then back down, then another up, and then back down, and then, you know what I mean? So just kind of take what you see here on the 200, maybe happening on the weekly for the 50, right? So just something to consider, right? But overall, like I said, I'm still a little bullish here, even though a lot of the technicals actually look better than a bullish rating would come behind, okay? So with that, let's turn to the oil stocks. I've actually expanded this. There was a request to add 2 new oil drilling companies. So we'll get to those after HUSA. But OXY is first still. This is a big one. This is a Warren Buffett one. And look, we've been going down, 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 just losing the 8, losing the 20. This is the first moment we've actually regained both, and we're trying to actually regain the 200. I would actually say this has been a lot closer to horizontal in the 200, but I'm still looking at this 8 and 20 going down, right? But let's see what happens on this 200, because yeah, if we can break the 200, there's some reason to believe we'll be coming up to here, right? Roughly 60, 68, a little under 68, right? And that's a lot of red, 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 red to fill till literally that 68 number that we just said, right? So 68 seems realistic. What number are you at? You're pretty much right on the 200, and that one's over. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little alert, because I would love to know that. That's actually a pretty good number, 64.51. Let me know if we're over that, because yeah, red, 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 technically tends to turn to green, 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 right? So will we be able to break that? I don't know, right? I will say nice MACD, nice RSI, good amount of volume. Hopefully we can get over the 50. If we can get a little closer to 13, 14 million volume, hey, maybe, because that's still a pretty low RSI, and that MACD is trying to get a little closer to that 0 number. So don't forget, earnings are probably going to be coming out soon. I have absolutely no idea when. You should know that by watching my videos. I'm here for technical lines only. But Q4 just ended, right? October, November, December, that's Q4. So you're going to have to release some numbers really in the next week or two. So keep that in the back pocket, because nothing breaks lines faster than good or bad numbers, right? So keep that in mind. But OXY is looking good, and again, seeming like it wants to come to 68. Good earnings could definitely help break that right there. Big place on the weekly. All right, we are testing the 50. It's been a good while since we've been on the 50, and really it's the exact opposite of SCO, right? Because again, SCO is the inverse. OXY is the oil go up, right? I want oil to be expensive so that OXY can make more money, right? So we were going to lose the 50. OXY says, no, 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 not just yet. And the real question is going to become, yeah, look, 67, right? We've been talking about 67, 68. Can we break these two lines? Can we get back? Because again, this thing likes being over the 8 a lot, right? And it was able to bounce off the 20, it likes these lines if it can hold them, right? So the goal would pretty much be, let's get us back over those, and then again, maybe good earnings would give us a reason to regain that 75 hope, right? But right now, 68 is really as high as I think this can go technically. We just need a little good love from either earnings or a continued uptrend on the major markets. CEI, where is CEI at? Man, CEI is still losing it right now. Again, I would not touch this thing at all until it breaks the 8, okay? From there, all I really would expect would be a move from the 8 to the 20. But again, that's pretty much a jump from 2 to 3. That's a 50% jump right there, right? So it would be huge. I'm going to set my alert for right here for 205, okay? Again, an alert is not an immediate thing to buy. It's just a, hey, you might want to check out the charts, right? If we can get over this, there's a lot of reason to believe, and I just said it, green, 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 green would turn to red, 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 and getting over this would also get us over the 8. But one more time, it's been so long since we've gotten over the 20. So long. And even if we got over the 20, it's been forever since we've gotten over the 50, right? So just stay realistic with this, and I'm going to go to the weekly, right? We already know this. This is in all-time lows, all right? And I always say it. I know it sounds like it could get worse, but it can, and that's what the problem with all-time lows is. So well under the 8 on the weekly, nothing has to be, nothing should be sustainable based on this. But hey, if we can make a little profit on the daily, I'd love to, right? That's what swing trading is all about. But yeah, still a lot of reason to not be happy. And look, I mean, no one has bought CEI except for this single moment during the we all know what happened right there, right? It's okay. We're not going to talk about that again. Going into INDO. Again, INDO, and then I'll get into IMPP. I like INDO and IMPP to look the same, right? These ones tend to move together, so that's something to keep in mind. I got to say, this looks really nice, and yeah, I'm going to want to know if we get over that 507 for sure, because again, this one has been under the 8 the 20 for a good while. There was a little bit of a break here, but I know this thing's been suffering for a good minute, right? There's some reason to believe, yeah, if we can break this 20, we'll be coming all the way up to 588. That's a real nice jump from where we're at right now. That's definitely less than 20%, but a little bit more than 10%. And there's a couple green sprinkled here, but look, there's a lot of red to turn into green, right? And hey, if we can break the 50, the next place we believe is the 100, right? Maybe even this 630, because this is really where it horizontals out before it drops, right? So this might end up being a little harder resistance if we can break the 50. You know, the 50 is going to be the harder one, right? But yeah, there's some reason to believe we'll get to 650 or 588 here. RSI looks good, MACD looks good, volume's definitely starting to get better. Let's get, oh man, INDO can get real silly and come back up here, right? But yeah, I need at least 400,000, even 415,000 will do it. Get us 415,000 shares on Monday, that'll feel good. Definitely not a great weekly chart. However, again, roughly the same numbers we were talking about. 550 seems realistic if we can make a nice little uptrend up to here, because again, that's a lot of red. And that, roughly speaking, looks like, yeah, it's around 560, right? Then if we can break that, we'll probably come around to this 630, probably a little below to that 614. Those were roughly the same numbers we were using down here, right? So between that line and then this one. So I like that the daily and the weekly are kind of saying the same thing. INDO looks like it could be setting up. And look, 3 oil stocks in look good. That SCO, me being bearish and not happy with SCO, kind of gets reassured after these 3 are looking good. IMPP, come on, give me that same curve up. Ooh, not quite. Interesting. Okay. What does that say to me? It says one of two things, okay? IMPP has a lot more volume. Maybe some of this volume will move to INDO. I don't really know, but I really don't like that this thing hasn't made that same up. It's definitely starting to horizontal a little more, so hey, maybe that's a good thing. But yeah, this definitely still closed under the 8. The reason that this one's an outline versus a filled in is it actually closed the same place it closed the day before. So this was 24, this was 24. My problem is I don't get more decimals. It's not up to me. I really wish I could see 4, right? What are the next 2 beyond these, right? Again, this is simulated buying power. I am not moving any money on this. I'm only using this for the chart readers that we're looking at, and then my stack of indicators that I call the one. I flash them here and there. But yeah, look, same comments of being able to run the moving averages up maybe. But yeah, obviously INDO looks a lot better. I shouldn't have to say why. This one's already over 2. That one's not even over 1. We're waiting for confirmation. That's why I set the alert at this thing. But yeah, they both have a good a good downtrend that they can basically kind of gap fill, right? This is an important line to break, right? Because yeah, breaking this takes you to a whole mess of red. That might take you almost up here, just like we said. And again, breaking this one will take you all the way up to this one, right? So, yeah, I guess I'll set an alert. Let me see. I'll set it at 25. I wish I knew what the other 2 decimal points were. It's a little disappointing, but whatever. Again, really ugly weekly, right? And look, this is a new stock. A couple things jump out at me. This is the 50-day point, the 50-week point, right? That's where we get the 50 moving average line and the first ability to get 50 weeks average volume right here, right? So what's happening? It's actually looking like it's going up a little bit, actually. Yeah, it's from here to here. Doesn't seem like much, but hey, it's going up. That's good. Nonetheless, well under, but a lot of red to fill if the conditions are right. But INDO looking better than IMPP. I like to look at those together. You know that. HUSA. Okay. All right. I'll take this. This, I believe, I'm just going to go to the weekly really quickly. Oh, it's not at all-time lows. I thought it was. That's what I was quickly trying to look for. So this was going horizontal. This definitely lost the horizontal cluster and went down. not as devastating as it could have been. And really, I think this 317 line was to thank here. But we are well under all five. Looks like that same upward hope might be here. But look, are we actually over the 8? Oh, we are by 1 cent. Cool. So we closed at 332. The 8 was at 331. So hey, technically over the 8. Were there other tickers that were better than this one? Yeah, there were. So I guess I keep an eye on this one. I'm not even really going to set an alert here just yet because, like I said, I think there were some better ones that caught my eye. This is definitely a bad weekly, right? Because the weekly is kind of saying, hey, I'm about to start losing a cluster and going down. Could definitely use a nice uptrend to get us back into the horizontal. And this thing was horizontal for a good number of weeks. So maybe it's still close enough to be able to fall back into it. But yeah, little worrisome here. And like I said, we've seen a good amount of tickers already that were a little better. Really, those first 3 actually. Was CEI a good one? I don't really remember. I don't think it was a good one. No, but OXY and INDO at least. So this next one is a new one, NBR. So I honestly don't know a lot about it. Again, you can see in the background, this is definitely an energy and oil. This thing actually does some drilling from what that says, I guess. But what's happening here? All right, what's happening here? It looks like, okay, interesting. A good ride up, went horizontal, lost it. But the cool thing was it didn't lose the whole ride, right? I didn't have to zoom back out, but I knew it didn't at least come here. Even nicer to see that I went there. So there was a good uptrend on the 8, starts to lose it, but that 100 really, really comes clutch, right? What happens? We just start kind of going horizontal, right? Channel up, channel down, to the bottom, to the top. It gets a little higher, which is nice. This is still the top to the bottom, right? It's still kind of doing this. Sucked when it lost it, but it's at least using the 100 one more time to come back up, right? All eyes are really right here. What number are you at? So you close at 15747. What is the 50 at? Okay, so I want my alert up here. I'll take the higher one. I'll take it at 60. Cool. Yeah, if you can break this, really, I could have even set it here. This might have been, oh, but mine was at 60. Perfect, good. So if it could break the 60, there's reason to believe we might be able to kind of fill a lot of that back. Right now, I just don't know if we're going to break this just yet. That's super, super horizontal. That's super, super horizontal. This is definitely a little on the lower side of the volume, but looks like there's actually been some more buying than selling overall. So you know me, I do not like trading when we're in a cluster, right? I call this a tornado. You can violently go up and it's a lot of money, or you can violently go down and you definitely lose a lot of money, right? So I would love to wait for a break of the 50, get confirmation and trade up versus still wondering if we might fall back in and maybe even go, right? But yeah, 140, give or take, is the magic number down here. And then what was it, like 158.60, give or take, because that'll at least put us even over this one, right? So those are the two numbers I'm definitely watching here. This isn't too helpful down there. I'll make some lines on the weekly here. So there's at least reason to believe it can come up to 177, give or take, 176 as you see there. And then what number? I'll actually take you. Let's use the bottom, the bigger of the bottom. I'll put you down there. I think those are the only ones I want to see from the weekly. And then, yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't have much. These are the numbers, right? So I guess I can just put it here just so we don't forget what we were using. It was definitely that guy. And then, yeah, I mean, I'll use this guy, I guess. That works. And then if I zoom out, we should get that one up there. That one down there is too close. I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? I'm actually going to keep this daily one and I'll delete the weekly one. I think that's what I'm going to do because that makes us a little closer to. I think that's a good 1, 2, 3 with obviously all those lines in between. So NBR, this is a new one that we will continue adding. DO, one more time, another new offshore drilling one. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Oh man, this one's actually been doing pretty nicely actually. And it all started right here, right? Broke the cluster and just very nicely rode the 8. Was not able to bounce off the 20 right there. When that okay, but then it kind of tries right there. But yeah, definitely. Oh, and there could have been a little fake out right there too, actually. That really sucks right there. I'm sure that caught someone. Maybe SCO would have been a good little helper, but that really sucks, right? I'm just zooming in. You get a good break here, a good break here, and a nice confirmation. Maybe this wick down here, I don't know, but yeah, this would have fooled me in all honesty. I would have, if I made the video this day, I would have said, hey, it should be good, and then that sucks. So, real interesting to see there, right? But yeah, we ride up, kind of come down, at least never test this 100, right? So I feel like the 100's in the bank. We go pretty horizontal on the 50 is what I would kind of say right now, right? Under it, over it, kind of back under it, over it. I think it's all about this 50 right now. Definitely a cluster of 3 right here. I like that we're at least over the 8, but yeah, I'm going to set my alert here. I don't think I would touch this thing until, I'm even going to move it to 340. Let's get the whole number. Let me get over this because I still think we're kind of horizontal on the 50, even though it's obviously kind of more oscillating than it would look. Let me go to the weekly, see what charts. Oh my, this is a pretty new one. It's not that new, okay? In a lot of ways, I like that. And look, it's at least old enough to have both the 8 and the 20. I know some people that will not trade a stock until you've made the 20 on the weekly, okay? Again, because you want the weekly to know what the daily is going to look like, and sometimes you wait, all right? And I know it sounds silly. It's kind of as silly like when I say wait for confirmation, right? But sometimes waiting is actually a good thing to do. But yeah, I like where I set my alert because really I think that is the number that matters. Look, I always say buying in all-time lows is bad. If you're in all-time highs, that's a really good place because really all we're going to kind of do is just eat all this thing up, right? Once we broke this thing, wasn't as violent, but yeah, it did a nice thing, you know what I mean? So, and then obviously if we can break that, that would be even nicer. 12 is an important number here. And then let's make some lines down here. I think that's all we really need to do, and that kind of lines up real well there. I'm good with that. What does this look like on the daily? All right, that puts us exactly on that line, so I'm probably going to go ahead and just delete that. Yeah, I'm just going to delete that. We don't need that because we already have the 100 right there. Okay, cool. This is pretty much all we got. I want to make some lines down. Okay, no, it's this. I'm not going to make anything lower than that. We're good with it. Hopefully, we keep going up. Otherwise, the expectation would be to come back down to 850. So, interesting little chart here, though. Let's see what's happening down here. I didn't really talk about. There's been a lot of buying, but you can only see there's only really been 2 days where the volume was massive enough, right? I guess this third one too kind of hits or goes a little bit above the line. But yeah, this thing could use a little bit more volume, but it's close to 1 million. These are both peaking, which I guess would be nice. But yeah, again, I'm going to stick with this number because that will give me a good confirmation that we've actually taken the 8. And yeah, hopefully we'll retest all-time highs. I'm telling you, all-time highs is a good thing. It actually really is. UEC, so we are now coming away from the oil and kind of sticking a little more with like energy, right? And this is uranium. So where are we? We are back in this cluster, right? There was a tight cluster. There's a tight cluster here that tried to go up, tight cluster here that obviously went down. And now it's not as tight, but we're definitely in all 5 moving averages right here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all colors up here, right? It looks like it wants to break and go up, right? It's been a good little minute since we've been over the 200, right? And that's obviously the last one for a reason. It is a hard one to break. I'm fairly confident I have an alert here. I guess I'll go ahead and set an alert at 401. Let me see what happens here. I'll make sure and just set an alert here. I'm pretty sure I have it, but I'll do it one more time just to be safe. I'm liking these down here, all right? MACD actually was able to get into the positive, and it looks like it still wants to go up. RSI's been tight, but it is actually been relatively upward. And then again, I just wish the volume was a little better, but really since the 19th of December, since roughly the middle of December, there's been a lot more buying than selling, which is pretty good, right? So that kind of explains the uptrend right here, right? But yeah, all eyes are going to be on the 200. I obviously want good confirmation. And look, 3 lines broken on a single candle. I need really, really good confirmation. That pretty much means get me over, 405. Get me there and I'll feel good with that, right? So UEC actually looking good here if it could do some stuff. And hey, this is a nice weekly because again, I want to trade over all the lines, right? The 200 is going to be down here. Yeah, I want to be above all the lines, right? I don't want to be below. And you can see what it really can do when it's over all of them, right? Obviously, market condition matters and all that, right? But yeah, if we can break them and it looks like the major markets continue that nice little rise that they saw from Friday's good news, maybe some earnings from a couple big companies, man, that would be beautiful to see this really go from 4 to 5. And that's a quick, what, 20% right there, right? You're getting a dollar. Yeah. It's a good thing. Who could be unhappy with that, right? So this is looking good on the weekly. This could look good on the daily if we can break that 200 right there. GEVO. I always say this is my favorite stock to say out loud. Hasn't been performing very well, but we're getting close. All right, a whole mess of trading under the 8 and the 20. Little test with the 50 and go back down. Looks like we're able to take the 8 and the 20 back a little quicker, which makes me think, hey, maybe we're coming back up to the 50. Where are we at compared to here? That closed at 190. We're at 190. I want to know when we're at 191. Let's see if we go up. I'd be curious to know if this goes up because, again, that's a good MACD. That's, I mean, not a great RSI, but whatever. Nonetheless, it seems like it wants to come back at least to here, right? Not a massive trade. Let's see, every two. I mean, it's actually 20%. Yeah, every 2 cents is yeah. You see that, right? Wait, did I do some math wrong? I'm doing some bad math. I don't want to wait. Oh yeah, obviously I am. That's 1%. Okay, duh. Sorry about that. I wish I could undo my alert. I'm probably gonna get that in the morning too. But yeah, I would actually undo my alert knowing that. What does the weekly look like? Not as good as weeklies that we've seen on others, right? It's definitely on the non-sustainable side based on this, right? So hopefully it can at least get over that $2 window, give us a better weekly to believe we're going to kind of come back up. But yeah, for now, GEVO seems scrappy, right? We're just kind of still scrapping to break some lines. Have we even tested that 100 yet? Yeah, not since the fallback here. Let me zoom back out from there. Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens with this. I would be more curious up here than I really am down here. I'll say that much for sure. But I still love saying the name, GEVO. Okay, LIACF. This is going to be the very last video I do on LIACF because LIACF is getting uplisted. That is huge, okay? One more time. This is 5 letters because this is a pink over-the-counter stock. I believe the new ticker is going to be AMLI, the first two letters of American Lithium, and it is going to go to the major markets. That's huge, okay? From there, it definitely needs to hold it and not get delisted because that would suck. But a stock going from, look, I'm going to zoom out on the weekly. This thing was literally, I mean, this is still, yeah, 7 cents. This was a 7-cent over-the-counter stock going into and holding the dollar range and moving into the major markets. I mean, that's a major accomplishment, okay? And we're now over the 200 on the daily. All right, and there's some real good momentum news coming. This seems like the next peak. If we can break that, this actually seems like the next realistic peak. And then again, from there, this seems like the next realistic peak. So there actually could be a reason to believe that we'll come as high as, I mean, almost 5. I really see this coming, though, towards like 330 in all honesty. And a lot of it's going to end up becoming, is it going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news thing, or is it actually going to hold? I generally sell the rumor, but this is pretty monstrous. I mean, honestly, being able to uplist, I think will be really good. And then just in all honesty, lithium it's an important thing. So if they can actually like drop some good, because again, Q4 ended. I don't know what their earnings are going to look like or if they have any cool data, but there is some momentum that could come with that uplisting. So keep that in mind one more time. LIACF will disappear and it will turn into, I believe, AMLI. But yeah, that has me very optimistic. Again, breaks the 200, looked like it was going to lose the 200, instead just a big 4 days. And just look at that volume, almost doubles, right, the average. So now, and you can see it, we're kind of starting to come up a little bit too. So hopefully more people get interested. This thing has been as low as 30,000 shares, right? So coming back up would be really big. But yeah, there's a lot of reason to be happy. And look, we are now trading over all of them on the weekly. Let's get one more good week of confirmation, and then that would be nice. Still a little high on the weekly, so hey, maybe a cool down. But again, that uplisting might change stuff. And honestly, I don't know what this is all going to look like when the ticker changes it. I don't think it's going to reset, but hey, maybe it does. That could be interesting. I'll probably at least make a comment about that when it actually happens. It's going to happen on Tuesday, by the way, Tuesday the 10th, my Pacific Standard Time. So, or obviously East Coast, whatever, but American calendar, the 10th. Let me just, this day right here, I'm pretty sure you're going to see that when I open it. But yeah, the 10th is when that ticker change will happen. Okay, last on the list, and I know this actually had a nice little uptrend. I was watching this one. You guys, I like TMC. I'm not going to pretend I don't. Most of these stocks I like. At some point, I've either made, maybe even lost a little money on, but I know these are good when they're good and they're bad when they're bad, right? What am I looking at? Honestly, some really good stuff, right? There was a real bad loss. We actually dropped into all-time lows and got pretty low. I mean, this thing actually went sub 50, not sub 50, but yeah, it definitely hit 51, right? That's horrible. It wasn't that long ago that we were almost in the twos, if I'm not mistaken, right? It looks like we've had a very nice bounce off the 8, breaks the 20, and looks like it's been able to break the 100, right? I know that's a red candle, but I like that we actually closed down here and then we're able to close up here. That is still good. On my system, again, I can't see all the digits. It really sucks. But yeah, we closed higher than this day, so I'm okay with it. Monday matters a lot, but look, MACD is right around 0, which is a good thing. RSI is still fairly low, a whole mess of buying than selling, but definitely the buying is slowing down. We were around 1.8 million, made our way down to 1.4, and then a real lazy Friday. So hopefully Monday piques interest. But yeah, I would want to know when this breaks, okay? I'm going to set my alert. Honestly, I missed all that. I have not been trading that at all. I've been watching it with a smile, don't get me wrong. But I would much rather break the 100 and feel a little more comfortable coming up to the 200 than riding this. Just my personal trading style and preference, right? But super happy to see this, because honestly, this is almost a 50% rise from, I mean, actually, it's more than a 50% rise, because this thing, depending on when you bought it, right? But roughly speaking, we're looking at least at a nice 20, 25, 30% move. Not too bad, right? Who's going to get mad at that? What does the weekly look like? Okay, we're starting. This was the first week over the 8. And again, this line right here would actually put me over the 20 on the weekly. And that kind of looks like that ride to the 200 I was talking about on the daily would pretty much be the ride on the 50, right? And again, red. A lot of reason to believe that if you break this, we actually could come there. So I'm happy with the line that I drew. But one more time, beautiful ride for a lot of people who felt way too much pain on this stock. Hopefully you use the 8 moving average. Obviously, this is not financial advice, you know that. But yeah, we're here to make money, not fall in love with stocks. That's the point of this. Hey, I sincerely appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm trying to make more videos daily. Have a great one.